Hi everyone. I'm gonna give it just a little bit and let everybody get in here. As you come in to say hi. Tonight we're gonna start talking about, hi, how are you? I got a bunch of questions recently about markets and like how to prep for them, what to make the difference between like spring markets and fall markets. So we're gonna go over that. And I've got all your questions written down on the computer and everything, so we'll go over that. And then I'm going to try and figure out how to get this up on my YouTube tonight. Last live, it didn't save, and I don't know why. So I'm not 100% sure, but we're gonna try and figure that out. Hi, Destiny. But I've done like my market last year, and then I signed up for a bunch of them this year, and then we're going to, I did like a lot of different research, and Destiny, I helped her with one of hers. So I've kind of just compiled everything I know. And hey girl, hey! Trying to finish this cozy, but my hands didn't quite work fast enough for it before this started, and I wanted to finish it. My scissors, Destiny. Wonder where I got those from. But yeah, ta-da! But yeah, so we're gonna go over that, because there is like quite a big difference between spring markets and fall markets and what you should bring to them, and different stock, and even a difference in winter markets. Like there's a lot that goes into both of them. And then winter markets, you just kind of have to bring everything possible with you, because they're normally the busy ones. But yeah, so my first question that I had, also Destiny, your video today that Eleanor took, oh my gosh, was that adorable, number one, but it was terrifying. Like how you just like break stuff down, like, ugh, I couldn't do that with crochet. Knitting is a whole different scary ball game. But like literally you like ripped open your shirt and did surgery on it. That's like, if you told me that I had to cut these and like put them back together, I'm just gonna remake it. I'm gonna remake the whole thing. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna happen. No. See, I know how crochet stitches work, and they don't do that. They don't do that. Knit stitches are terrifying. Yeah, no, like, that's too much. Okay, but anyway, so on to the questions. Hopeful Crochet, I was hoping she was going to be in here. She might come in later on. She asked a bunch of them, and then I had a bunch of other ones, so I don't know how long this live's going to last, but we're going to ask or get through all these questions, and then I'm going to try and figure out, like I said, how to get this up on YouTube. So my first question that she asked was, what do you sell at a spring market? Because it's a bit different than like a fall or winter market. With fall and winter markets, you can sell warm things like big hats and scarves and shawls and mittens and things like that. But spring markets, people don't want all of that. They want to be able, they want cool stuff, like actually cool weather stuff. So my list I've put in is like headbands, because it's still chilly in the morning, but you can still rock your messy bun. Cup cozies are a big one. I like these ones that I make. These are from Cozy Moon Design. They have bottoms on them, which is really nice for like ice drinks and stuff. And they fit in your cup holder in your car. So I like those ones. Amigurumi is a really big one. So like Pokeballs or little animals, not anything that's going to take too long to make, because you don't want to like have outrageous prices on things. Because yes, you're worth those outrageous prices, but you want to make sure you have a good variety of different stuff. Face scrubbies are really big. Anything that people can gift for Mother's Day So like face scrubby bundles or cup coaster, like little stacks of those, dishcloths, anything like that's really good. Baskets, even shawls. Shawls are still really good. I rock my Snowfall on the Bowery in the spring. And hi, honey. And the Snowfall on the Bowery from Two of Wands, hers is perfect for springtime because it's still warm enough in the mornings, but you're not dying by the afternoon. You can just toss it in your bag or hang on to it. And then like lightweight slouch beanies. So you wouldn't want to do anything in like chunky yarn or anything like that, but anything heavier than a worsted. But lightweight beanies are really good for spring because people still wear them through the summer. Like my husband wears beanies through the summer. He wears them year round just because they're not too heavy, but they're still mega cute. Yeah, so that's what I recommend for spring markets. Destiny, I don't know if you're in here. Do you recommend anything for a spring market? I know you tend to do fall ones and winter ones like I do. Because there's probably a bunch of other things, but that's just what I've noticed sells really well, like when I go to markets. That's what I would do, personally. And then the next question I got was, how do you find markets in your area? So how I found my markets was through Facebook. Yeah, you just stick to the channel. Yeah, because they're faster. Like, spring markets are fun, but I use them more to, like, go find my own stuff versus sell my stuff there. I don't know. I see a lot of people do them, but they get really frustrated with them because they don't seem to sell as much. But yeah, I found markets through Facebook. That's actually what Destiny told me to do because that's how she found hers, were through Facebook. So you just type in like your city name or like a city near you if you don't live in a big city, and like craft show or something like that after it. And that's how I found mine. You could probably Google it, but Facebook seems to be the easiest way to find them. That's why I have a Facebook now because I didn't have one. But yeah, that's how I find all of my markets and different resources, is through Facebook. And then the next question was, how do you get your name out for markets? So once you get approved into a market, they normally have, like on Facebook, the ones that I'm a part of have a page. And in that page, you can like share their posts. So I have a hair right in front of my face. So if you like share that post and from your business page, it'll pop up, but it'll also show that it was shared. Some different like yard sale websites and things will let you promote it. You can put it in your newsletter. If you have a website and have like subscribers, or you can put it on your Etsy page, like come see me in person at, and then you can put your market in your like announcements right at the top. I normally put my markets there. And because I have a lot of locals that purchase from me, and then you can put your business cards places. It just kind of depends on how big you want to go with your marketing. But that's what I would do. That's what I have done. So, what kind of signage or business cards do you use? So I bring a bunch of business cards, and this is like a touchy subject for some people because a lot of people are like, well, they get thrown away. Well, probably, but say you had somebody browsing through and they didn't see anything they liked, or they just bought something small. Make sure you give them your business card, because if they see a shawl that they liked of yours, but they just didn't want to get it right then, when they think about that later on, they'll have your card and they'll know where to go. And then I always have signs that say custom orders, and then signs that say cash and credit cards accepted. Hi bees, how are you? So you want to make sure that they know that you will take credit cards and cash, and that you can do custom orders as well. So if you have a bunch of slouch beanies and you sell out of those slouch beanies and they want one, you've got those. Like this year, I'm going to set up an iPad with a bunch of my pictures on it. My husband's got an old iPad that I'm just going to borrow. And it's just going to play like a slideshow. So people can see other stuff that I make that I just might not have or have sold out, and they've got that. And they can do the custom orders. I am so glad I have my voice back. Some words and like sometimes it still gets a little like, I don't know, weird, but I'm so happy. It was so bad the past 2 days. Like Tuesday I started losing it, Wednesday gone. Like no voice whatsoever. It was ridiculous. It was really bad. And I think it was a sinus infection. I don't know. It was just, oh, it was bad. But yeah, so that's what I do for signage. Then what's my next? Oh, and then I was also asked, what are other things you should bring with you? The biggest one is water. Bring stuff to drink and like granola bars to snack on, because you don't know if you're going to be able to get away from your table. And if you're by yourself, you're not. You're just going to stay there the whole time. Because obviously you don't want to leave your stuff there. So bring water, bring snacks, bring a chair. If you can, bring a friend with you, so that way you can run to the bathroom. You can step away for a second and take a break. And then also bring something to work on. A lot of crocheters or knitters, we always have a WIP. Like, there's some people that say that they finish all their stuff. I probably got like 15 different things sitting over there. Like, I've got a lot of stuff. So just bring something to work on. And that way, if you do have some downtime, you're being productive, and people like to see you work on your stuff, see you crochet or see you knit or whatever you sell. People really like to see that. So bring something to work on. It'll keep you busy. And then, how do you take payments? I take cash and credit cards. I use Square. Well, I didn't use Square. I used whatever my Etsy one was. I think that actually might be through Square. I don't know. Whatever was through Etsy, I used last year. You can also use PayPal. PayPal has their own little reader. You can use that. I don't take checks. Some people can. I don't. I just, it's too much for me to have to deal with. And then you have to get all their information, and it takes a lot of time. So I just use cash or take cash and cards, and just make sure you have a lot of change. And have like a little, I think it's Mega makes these super cute little pouches that you can wear for your markets. Or like a fanny pack or a lock box or something like that. Just bring that with you, and make sure you bring a charger for your phone if you're going to take credit card payments. So you can use a little reader thing. And, hi, how are you? Yeah, so that's how I take payments at all my markets. How do you determine the best things to sell? Okay, so there's not really like a definitive answer for this, because my shirt's riding up. It really depends on like where you're selling. So if it's like a big market, you can kind of get away with pretty much anything. But my biggest thing with this is make sure you have stuff in all different price ranges. So you have like those little like cup cozies or face scrubbies, or like I make these cute little pumpkins, like impulse buys, things like that. And then also your more expensive things. So like your shawls, your scarves, your chunky hats, pillows if you want to. Make sure you have like a good range, but don't overwhelm them. So don't have like 17 different types of hats and 12 different types of scarves and 15 different types of whatever. Like, pick like 2 or 3 of each thing that you really like that you think will sell well, and see how that goes. Your first market is always the scariest because you don't know what's going to sell. But it can vary between each market. Tony from TL Yarn Crafts has a really good article or blog post about what she brings. So it's like 2 or 3 different hats, 2 different scarves, like a cowl and a scarf. And she kind of breaks it down that way. And if I can figure out how to get this up on YouTube, I'll link that. So that way it's in there. But she's got a good breakdown of that. When is the best time to start preparing for your market? So that's a fun one to answer because I work year round for my market. I'm always working on something that can go into my stock for my markets. Whether I'm just sitting, like this is going to be a beanie, so making a beanie right now. But what I do is about 3 months out. Like I look at my calendar and I find what day my market's on. And about 3 months before that, that's when I start going pretty hard. And it's just constant prep from that day until about a week before my market. And then a week before my market, I stop. I'm done making stuff. Doesn't matter what I got done, I'm done. And then I take 5 days, and that's when I get everything tagged, any ends weaved in, anything else that I need to finish up. It gets done in those 5 days. And then I take 2 days off right before my market to not do a thing. Last year, I worked up until I went to my market. Like that morning, I was freaking out tagging things. Hi, Angel Bunny, how are you? I was terrified because I didn't know what I was doing. That was a really dumb idea. Like you want that 2 days before your market to just chill. Like work on a selfish project, work on nothing, like go read a book, whatever you want. But don't push yourself up until the morning before your market because you're going to regret it. You're going to be exhausted and then you're going to hate it. You're not going to want to do another one. So yeah, I don't do anything. I just play a lot of video games. That's my new rule is 2 days before my market, done. And even if it's freaking me out. You have a market on Saturday and yeah. No, it was bad. Like, so okay. Story time. So my first market, I signed up for 6 weeks before the market. That was scary. And I had almost nothing made because I didn't know I was going to do it. And I started making constantly. And the morning of my market, I had to be set up the night before. So I brought a bunch of my stuff, got it all set up. I went home, worked until 2 a.m., got up at 6, worked until I had to be at the market at 9. Like, and then I was working at the market. Like I was making stuff at the market because I was so scared that I wasn't going to have enough stuff. Don't do that. Like, I didn't want to do another market after that. Like, it wasn't even a busy market. It wasn't like anything that I needed to freak out about, but I did. So don't do that. Like, if you have a market on Saturday, don't do anything on Friday. Like, Thursday, tag all your stuff, make sure everything's done. What's today? Today's Thursday. So finish up your stuff. And how did I make it through? Thank goodness this market was right next to my husband's coffee shop. And that boy fed me coffee all day. And like, it was so bad. And then at the end of it, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm not going to do it. And then I signed up for 3 markets for this year. So I don't know. It was bad. Yeah, so I did my inventory the other day and I've got like, I don't know, I think I've got like 60 things made so far. My first market's in September. It's just a fall market. It's an outdoor market. So I'm going to work on more little stuff. Cup cozies, my pumpkins, some plaid stuff, that kind of thing. I know, I'm a last minute person. I'm a procrastinator. And because I know that I'll get it done, but I wait until the last minute. And like, so I've started doing, like I have a collaboration I'm doing with lovecrochet.com and you'll be tagging while you're setting up. Yeah. Oh, I know that life. But I'm doing a collab with them that doesn't come out until June and I already finished it. Like, it's finished. It's at my testers. They've all got it. I'm done for the time being. I've got my blog post written. I've got photos are being taken on Friday. Like, procrastinator. There you go. Yes. I know that, like, the knitters get to call it procrastinating, but I don't knit. I'm a bad knitter. And, yeah, and then I've got a project that I haven't announced yet, but you guys are here, that Lion brand hooked me up with some yarn. So we've got a project for them coming out in July. and I'm mega stoked about it. Yarn's on the way. I think it'll be here either Saturday or Monday, and I'm so excited to get that made. But I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to get all this stuff done because last year was my year of let's wait until the last minute. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Like, you decided a name for the top? Okay, so I did decide a name for the top. The poll was a bad idea because it was like a 48-52 split. Like, it kept doing this all day long. It would bounce back and forth. But I'm not going to say the name of the top until I release it. It's coming out on Tuesday. Everything's going to be posted, sent out on Tuesday. The winner of my pattern is going to be announced on Saturday. So we're going to do that on Saturday. They're going to get the pattern Saturday. Tomorrow I'm finishing up all my hair's being done. Finishing up all my pictures, making sure the layout's good. I've changed my format of my patterns. So I'm stoked. They were like regular on it, and now they're sideways and 2 panels on each page, and they look way better that way. I may have stolen that from Destiny, but yeah, so I'm really excited. That top is gonna be so cool. Like, I got pictures from one of my testers yesterday. I'm probably gonna spam them tomorrow because she did a really good job. This pattern has been a pain in my butt though. Like, I've had to change so much stuff on it. My cardigan wasn't even this complicated. Like, this top isn't hard, but I jacked it up all over the place, and without my testers I would have been screwed. Like, they helped me so much. I felt so bad, and like, I almost just threw it out and was just like, nope, not gonna do it. I'm glad I didn't, but I almost did. I feel so bad for my poor testers. But that's why I've got them, and that's why they're here. And they don't hate me, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so... Alright, let's get back to our questions. I think I've got like 2 more. Yeah. Okay, so how much do you make for your markets? Okay, so that question is another one of those, like... it's really up to you kind of things. It depends on, number 1, how much money you have to spend on the yarn. Plenty of patterns do that to you. Some are just easy breezy and others are like, why did I do? Yes, no. Okay, so my cardigan pattern that I did for Joy of Motion Crochet last year, my creation cardigan, the one that I made in all the Feels Like Butter yarn from Lion brand. Okay, so that thing, funny story. I made that in 2 days. Designed it in 2 days and made it in 2 days. And sent it out to my pattern testers. Had no issues whatsoever. Like, I had to fix like the formatting of a couple lines. That was it. Perfect. Published it. No issues. This thing, I spent 2 weeks making, 2 weeks writing, typed it all up, took all the pictures, sent it to my testers right off the bat. All these errors. I was just like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, what did I do? I was so mad. And because it's not hard. It's like the same stitches just repeated. The sizing wasn't crazy because I did a small medium and a large extra large. Hi, how are you? Oh, how are you? And they have to test us. It was so ridiculous. Like, why was this so hard? And it's a tank top. Like, I didn't have to do sleeves. I didn't have to do any, like, what's it called? I don't remember. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, I don't have to do any of that stuff because it's cinched in the back. It's corseted. So you can ease. I didn't have to do any positive or negative ease. It's just a rectangle and it didn't want to do what I told it to. I felt so bad, but yeah, so that comes out Tuesday. It's going to go out to everybody. So if you're not signed up to be a subscriber on my YouTube, so good to hear your crazy design stories. Oh, I've got a lot of them. I like make stuff all the time and I just kind of wing it and see what happens. I've got like this folder has got like a bunch of random things that I wrote down. Hi, how are you? You're new to following me. How did you find me? I'm excited you're here. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff that I've just written down that I haven't gotten out to testers because I haven't finished it. Or I'm terrified that my math is wrong. And it's my, I have a couple patterns that are on my blog or my website that haven't been tested because I wrote them a long time ago and I didn't have anybody to test them. So I just made them a bunch and I just didn't do it. And, but they're all noted. Like, I didn't have people test these, so please don't get mad at me if they're wrong. And like I said, all my patterns are free. They always will be. So if I have to go back and correct something, I have to go back and correct something. And I don't remember, it may have popped up in the recommendation and I saw you crochet and I started to follow. Oh, well, that's really cool. Thank you. I'm excited you're here. I just started doing lives. Like, I did a live a long time ago and I did one last week, and this is my second, like, official live. I'm going to try and do one once a week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do them every week, but I'm going to try to, because I like getting on here and just jumping in and talking with all you guys. Would you believe I don't math with my patterns? Okay, so I don't math either. I use what is it called? The Crochet Council. I use all their measurements like to start my pattern. So like I make it in my size, and then I go on to Joy of Motion Crochets and I use her calculators to get the yarn, because like on the back of it, it tells you like how much yardage or whatever it is per thing. So I just weigh my stuff and I do the math there, because Joy of Motion Crochet has like this super awesome calculator. Hi, Conweezy, how are you? And she does all my math for, like, the whole thing does my math for me. So as long as my gauge is the same, because I make a bunch of different gauges, or like a bunch of different gauge swatches to make sure that I'm not jacking it up. And there's a fuzz. Because I can't, like, my tension varies a lot. So I'll either have mega tight tension if I'm like super paying attention, or if I'm not, it's a little bit looser. So I'll make like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 gauge swatches, and just to make sure that I'm being consistent, and then I go from there. Like and keep that in mind. No, I'm gonna, if I can figure out how to get this video up on YouTube, because last video, it wouldn't save it, and I don't know why. Stopping into seeing what I'm making. Right now, I just finished a cup cozy for a market, and right now I'm making a blush pink slouch beanie. It's just a big rectangle right now, but just something to keep me busy. But I'm going to try and get everybody linked that I've referenced in the thing if I can figure out how to save this, because last live didn't want to save. And I don't know how to go back and do that. I guess I could just record my screen, but that would take a while, so. But yeah, I used to not do any math, and now I'm trying to do more sizes. I have a men's sweater that I'm designing, and I haven't done any sweaters for men. So their sizes are a little bit trickier, but I have my husband to make him try stuff on. So, we're going to see if I can figure out that math. And then my hardest thing that I'm learning actually is doing kids math. Like for newborns, up through like 12 years old, I have the hardest time figuring that math out. Okay, but anyway, so let's go back to the how much do you make for markets. So, like I said, it kind of depends on what your income is, because you have to put into consideration like how much money you're spending on your market, how much how much the fee is to get into the market, how much money you've spent on like your setup. So like if you had to buy a mannequin or a mirror or like shelving or whatever you had to buy, because you want to be able to make that money back. So if you put in, like, always shop sales, obviously, for yarn. Don't ever pay full price for yarn, but you want to make enough to cover what you've put into the market and pay yourself. So like you don't just want to break even, you want to make money after that. So if you say everything, for example, cost you $200, so the fee, all your stuff, all of that costs you $200, then you want to have enough stock to cover that $200, so you're breaking even, like including like the yarn and stuff that you've purchased, and then make money off of that. there isn't like, I have to make 3 times the cost of the market, because that doesn't make sense mathematically. Like 3 times the cost of the market. So if the market costs you $75, then like you want to make more than, what is that, like 225, because you also have to pay for the yarn that you bought and the hooks that you had to buy, and like the little eyes and buttons and whatever else you had to put into the market. It's not just the $75 that you spent on the booth fee. And so it's hard to say like, well, you need to make 15 hats. Well, probably, but you also have to make like a variation, but you don't want to spend too much money because you don't want to lose money on the market. I don't know if that makes sense. I try to have like 150 items. So that's kind of like my number, because it fills up my booth. It gives me enough that I have a little bit of extra. But that's not 150 hats. That's hats and scarves and headbands and kids stuff and pumpkins and fingerless gloves and cup cozies. It's everything. Christmas decorations. So that's what I try to do, is make sure I have that. Okay, does make sense? Okay. It made sense in my brain, but maybe I wasn't explaining it properly. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I figure it out. Like, I don't know. You don't want to lose money, but you don't want to not have enough stuff either. And like your first market kind of tells you what's going to sell pretty well. But they, like I said, they vary from market. Like my last market, I sold a lot of triangle scarves. I have no idea why. And because I normally don't sell a lot of those, but I sold like 7 of them. And, I don't know. And then, let's see. Okay, so my last question that I had, and if you guys have any questions, just put them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them. But the last question I had is, what other props and things should you have? And my biggest one is a mirror. You want to make sure you have a mirror with you, because people want to be able to try on your hats. And they want to see what they look like. They're going to, like, even if you tell them not to put their hats on, they're going to do it. And because they want to make sure it fits, and they want to see how they look in it, or a scarf or whatever. So make sure you have a mirror. Make sure you have, like, on your tables, you want to put stuff at different eye levels. So that way it's not just like a flat lay of hats, because they're just going to walk right by it. It's not eye-catching, and nothing about that is like, hey, look at me. So make sure you have like different like cubes or different shelves or like hat stands, something like that, to kind of move things up and down. I borrow this from Destiny. I'm gonna have to get one, but I borrowed Destiny's last year, and I borrowed her mannequin. And I put a hat on the mannequin's head, like the neck part, and I put my triangle shawls on the mannequin itself, so people would see how they laid. And that might be why I sold so many of them, because they were displayed out like that. I don't think I've been paying enough attention to this, because I think I'm like rocking different stitches. It's fine though. I was doing double crochets in my last project, and now I'm doing half double crochets, and I just did a bunch of double crochets in a row. It's fine. But yeah, so you want to have mannequin around Christmas time. I stole this from, a lot of these things I stole from Destiny, because she's kind of a pro at markets, and it's kind of ridiculous how good she is at them, and how cute her setup is. But she had this little tiny Christmas tree, and she hung up all these little ornaments that she has, and it was adorable. So now I'm gonna get a little tiny Christmas tree, and I'm gonna make a bunch of ornaments. It's gonna be cute. And so like, Taylor Lynn Crochet, she's got a video about her market setup, and White Owl Crochet has one about what her booth looks like. I think I've got a picture on my Instagram a ways back from my market. And like I said at the beginning of this, I'm not an expert on markets. Like, I haven't done very many of them. I've helped Destiny with one of them. Like, I don't have a ton of experience, but I have researched and kind of watched everybody. That's why I'm going to link everybody that I've talked about today if I can figure out how to get it up on YouTube. I'm really hoping that I can do this because I'm going to feel bad if I can't. But yeah, so you can kind of see from all their different, or even if you go on Pinterest and you just search craft market booths, there's a ton of them. Even if it's not like a crochet or a knit booth, you can still get ideas from like tablecloths and different setups and how things are laid out and how to do the shelving and things like that. It's pretty cool. And but like I said, just make sure you're not spending so much money on it that you can't make it all back. Invest in your booth because that is your storefront. That's what people see. If it looks boring or not eye-catching, they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep going. But you also don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for your first market. Like, that would be silly. I borrowed a lot of my stuff. I had my tablecloth. I had some like plaid scarves that I laid down, like big, like huge blanket scarves that I laid down. And then I borrowed Destiny's crates and her mannequin. And then I had some like fairy lights. Hi, how are you? I had some fairy lights that I put up, and that's what I did for my first market because it didn't make sense to me to go spend all this money if I wasn't sure I was going to keep doing them. If you don't know if you want to do markets, don't spend a lot of money on stuff. You can even find stuff at like yard sales, like mannequins or crates, little shelves, things like that. Like, don't spend a ton of money on your first market because you want to make sure that you want to keep doing it. It'd be silly to invest it and then have all this stuff that you don't do anything with anymore. But yeah, so that's all my questions for the market stuff. I don't really have much else to talk about. I wasn't sure how fast we were going to go through all that. But yeah. So on Saturday, the winner from my last live is going to get announced and get her copy of my new design coming out. Tuesday it gets released, so like I said, make sure you are signed up for my email list because it's going to go out first to my email subscribers. It's going to be free on the blog. Obviously you'll be able to, where in Michigan am I? I live in mid-Michigan. I live in Midland, like in the Bay City, like Tri-City area, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. And your West Michigan design. So are you out by like Grand Rapids? But yeah, so Tuesday that comes out. The following Friday, oh, you're Muskegon, okay. And I'm still learning where everything is in Michigan, but I got you there. Grand Haven, yep. One of my really good friends lives in Grand Haven. And I haven't been up that way yet, but I want to. Hopefully this summer. And then Mitten Talk is coming back. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mitten Talk. My nose itches really bad. Like right on the end of my nose. Mitten Talk is coming back, so we've got our first Mitten Talk guest, and that's going to be a once a month thing, I think. You were the second person to join? I mean, I've had a lot of people in here. I just don't have a whole lot right now. I've heard that, and then we want to go. I haven't been to the sand dunes, and I want to go there. I haven't really been a lot of places in Michigan. I've only lived here, like I said, almost 3 years. But I haven't really traveled a whole lot. I've been to Detroit. I've been to Ann Arbor. Lansing. I drove by through Grand Rapids. I just didn't stop. But yeah. I think I messed this up somewhere. I think I did there. That's fine. I also want to go up to Mackinac because I think it's really pretty from all the pictures I've seen. And then, yeah, and then I have another pattern coming out at the end of the month. And then I have my One Would Love Crochet in June. May, I've got a couple things like planned out, but I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go down. We're going to see. May's kind of a really busy month for me. So, like in personal and work and all, and with family and kids and all that, it gets pretty busy. So, we'll see how May goes. But June, I've got that collab with lovecrochet.com coming out. And then July, I've got my Lion Brand collab coming out. So, but then this fall I've got a huge list of things. And I'm going to try and get more tutorials up on my YouTube. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I think we're going to wrap this up. And like I said, I'm going to try and get it up with all the links and stuff on YouTube. I really appreciate everybody putting in those questions. I had way more than I thought I was going to. And I hope I answered all your questions. If you have any more questions, just send me a message or email me or whatever, and we'll go from there, and I'll try and answer whatever I can. But you guys all have a good night. I'll talk to you. I'll hopefully be live next week, probably Wednesday, because I'll have my voice, so I won't have to postpone it till Thursday. All right, bye guys.